Olori Tobi has been locked up as an order from the Oni, and this came directly from the Oni as he was upset, or let's say he is upset with Tobi's actions. So you might be wondering what Toby has done. Toby has refused to back off even in the midst of every progress that Olori Naomi has made in the palace to remain relevant, should we call it, with every single thing that has happened. Toby has still refused to back off. And with every single thing on ground, the Oni did not find it friendly at all. Yes, the one is not finding it as something that he would sit at a corner and overlook whatsoever it is that Olori Toby is doing rather than him taking actions. Remember, we have said this countless times. We have said this times without number that Olori Toby knows exactly what she's doing, and if whatsoever comes at the end of this thing, Toby knows what she is up to. So, in the midst of this whole thing, in the midst of chaos, in the midst of tribulations, Toby knows exactly what she's up to. So right now that Toby is behaving like this, nobody would want to look at it as a malfunction in any single thing at all. Everybody would likely want to hold Toby responsible for her actions. And that is what the Oni is doing right now. Yes, that is what the Oni is doing right now. And from all indications, this is going to be a heavy one on Toby, because landing in a police cell because you refuse to listen to your husband is indeed what nobody would want to experience. Yes, nobody would want to experience this particular thing. But Toby has landed herself in a police cell simply because what? She refused to listen to her husband. And what are her husband's instructions? Stay away from Olori Naomi. No matter what you do, learn to maintain your space and leave Olori Naomi alone. That is what the Oni have said to this woman over time, and they have refused to listen to him. Yes, they have refused categorically to listen to him. And then what happens? What happens? The Oni will keep on throwing all of them into sale. My people, though, let's dive into this matter proper. So you would hear how Olori Tobi have lost over time. With every single thing that has happened in the palace, Olori Tobi has been on the forefront of these matters. And as it stands right now, Tobi have categorically lost. Why have she lost? She has lost simply because she has not been on the right track over time. Yes, she has not been on the right track over time. And from all indication, from every single thing that that has been proceeding, from every single thing that has been happening in the palace, you would come to that point of understanding that no matter what it is, no matter what it is, these women had a room for them to stop. But it seems like stopping has become so impossible for them. Yes, stopping has become very, very impossible for them. So what would they do? They will just keep on pushing, pushing, pushing until they see the end, or they see the reality of what it is that they want. So right now is the fact that Olori Tobi have taken it categorically upon herself to make sure that things doesn't play out the way Oni wants. Yes, nothing plays out the way Oni wants. And from that very point that Toby is picking up things, it is what the Oni does not want. Now, if you have been on this matter over time, you would come to that point of understanding that the Oni, every single thing he is doing now, everything the Oni is doing now is just to have his wife and son back into the palace, nothing more than that. So whatsoever it is that someone feels, whatsoever it is that someone perceives, or whatsoever it is that someone is beginning to have a feeling that this should be it, it does not concern the Oni in any way. What the Oni wants is just to have his family back with him. And from all indication, from every single thing we have seen, or we are following, or let's say we have heard over time, it is of course clear that the Oni was ready to strike a deal with this woman. You people remain in the palace, but Naomi comes back. But all of them were more like the Oni is begging them. All of them started behaving like, the Oni is begging us. So if we object, the Oni would have absolutely nothing to do about it. Yes, the Oni will have nothing to do about it, and he will just stop. He will wait for us. Since when? So as a result of this, the Oni is not finding it neither funny with these women. Yes, he's not finding it funny with them, because from every single thing we are doing, from every single thing that has been happening, from every single thing that has been going on in the palace, it is of course a thing to, reconsider, because if these women come to that point of saying that, eh, they won't stop, the only now has a room to stop them. Yes, the Oni has a room to stop them. And the way the Oni will stop these women, they will not find it likely. They would not take it. In fact, he will not take it likely with them. That's just the truth. But from every single thing that has been happening lately, it is indeed a proof that the Oni tried his all possible best to make sure that no matter how things turn to end between him and this woman, it doesn't end exactly the way people expect it to end, like that chaos, until these women refused that no, we are not the peaceful type, so we would prefer that things end in chaos. That is what they chose. So right now, they're only locking up Olori Tobi. It is indeed something that another Olori will learn from. Yes, it is indeed something that another Olori will learn from. And if another Olori does not learn from this, then we don't even know exactly what to say of it. Because the last time that Olori Naomi locked up Olori Aderonke, it was more like, all of these Oloris will learn from this. None of them would even want to, do any of these things that would warrant them to be locked up again. But here we are again. They are even doing worse. Yes, they are doing worse. They are doing things that are worse than what was done before. And as it is right now, no matter what happens, no matter how bad these things get, no matter how it becomes, we would all come to that point of understanding that it is not just a say stuff, because they only came to that point of beginning to do exactly what he says. Yes, that's the point these women pushed the Oni to. And if the Oni could get to that point of doing exactly what he says, then it should be known to you that these women have really, really pushed the Oni to a limit that he cannot take it any longer. Yes, they have pushed him. And you know that before now they used to say that the Oni know they talk and do, the Oni just says it, he doesn't do it. And now the Oni is doing it. Yes, the Oni is doing it vigorously, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. So my people right now know that is what is happening to Olori Tobi. Olori Tobi has lost it to a point that she has lost her sense inclusive. And in this process of her losing her sense, this is the state at which Olori Tobi is on. Olori Tobi is right here doing things that she's not supposed to do, and she has landed herself in a prison cell, as the Oni is not taking it lightly with any of his wives again. Yes, the Oni is not taking it lightly with any of his wives again.